Okay, I know what you're thinking. Oh, and you're being such a mark right now. No, I had planned on doing this via what the result of the main event was tonight. If things would have went down one way, I would wear one thing, and things went down like they did, I would wear this. So, I'm just wearing it ironically, because I want to talk about my opinions on last night's SummerSlam pay-per-view extravaganza. So, we were live in Los Angeles, California at the fabled Staples Center. And this event was to be the WrestleMania of the summer, the second biggest pay-per-view of the calendar year for the World Wrestling Entertainment Company. It doesn't sound right when you call it World Wrestling Entertainment. It really doesn't. It doesn't flow like World Wrestling Federation used to. So we'll just call them WWE and just cut out the middleman. So basically what I wanted to say, that this was quite an event. And certainly lived up to all expectations. By the time the show is over, definite thumbs up from this guy right here. But without any further ado, it's late and I gotta work in the morning in a couple of hours. Not a couple hours, I guess maybe 12 hours. But still, doesn't really matter because I want to shoot you guys out this video to talk about what I thought about SummerSlam this year. So, this pay-per-view, of course, was hosted by The Miz. And he starts out the pay-per-view broadcast. But I'm going to backtrack here. I'm going to talk about the SummerSlam kickoff matchup for the United States Championship as Dean Ambrose put the championship on the line against Rob Van Dam. So, let's talk about this U.S. title match, shall we? Van Dam with two clotheslines, and standing sidekick, whip in, and 180 crossbody, 1-2, and a kick out. So whip in, reverse, goes for the splash, he misses, front slam, goes for the split-legged moonsault, Ambrose gets the knees up, big clothesline, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes for Justice is Served, which is the Bulldog driver. It gets countered, high kick to the face, wheel kick, and goes for the 5-star, but Rollins and Reigns come down as the Shields music hits, and this leads to Mark Henry coming down, and the Big Show coming down, so we're going to have basically both sides of all four sides of the ring are going to be surrounded by people that are not involved in the matchup. An impromptu lumberjack match, if you will. Not really, but the Big Show and Mark Henry on one side, and of course the WWE Tag Team Champions Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns on the opposite side for their respective guys. So, power drive elbow off the ropes from Ambrose, 1-2 and a kick out. Locks Van Dam in a sleeper hold. Van Dam elbows out of it. He comes off the ropes and gets tossed to the floor. Big Show and Mark Henry stop Reigns and Rollins from interfering. And suplex is blocked on the floor, and Van Dam suplexes Dean Ambrose on the floor right at the feet of his Shield brethren. Front suplex right across the barricade. Van Dam climbs up to the ring apron, does his Rob Van Dam taunt, and hits the corkscrew leg drop onto Dean Ambrose. Toss him back in, goes up top, front somersault, 1-2, and a kick out. So scoop slam, and he's going for Rolling Thunder. He sets up for Rolling Thunder, and they pretty much, Roman Reigns pulls the leg, and he goes for a clothesline. He ducks. Van Dam catches it with his body scissors and a roll-up pin, 1-2, and a kick out. Whip in reverse, and Ambrose plants him with a huge spine buster, 1-2, and a kick out. So scoop slam, Ambrose goes up top, goes for an elbow, he misses, goes for the 5-star, and he changes his mind, and leaping sidekick, ducks it. Ambrose rolls him up with the tights, 1-2, and a kick out. So a knee into the midsection, whip in, back elbow, kicks him right off the ropes, nails him with Rolling Thunder, and he goes up top for the 5-star frog splash. Roman Reigns comes in and spears Van Dam out of his boots for the disqualification. This prompts the Big Show and Mark Henry to hit the ring and to fight off the Shield retreat, and that's the end of this matchup. And the first matchup on SummerSlam, the first and only matchup that was not on the pay-per-view broadcast. So, a lot of people were thinking that this would end up leading towards maybe a six-man. I called that. I said it'd possibly end up being a six-man. Or, given the fact that the Shield pretty much threw the gauntlet down for SummerSlam, it would lead to a WWE Tag Team title match with The Big Show and Mark Henry. But neither of those were to be, so I'm going to guess tonight on Raw that'll probably happen. We'll probably get The Big Show and Mark Henry against the Shield for the WWE Tag Team Championships. I'd say at Night of Champions, if I had to guess. Granted, it's only a month on Night of Champions, so there's always that. And Ambrose does not pin Rob Van Dam, and Van Dam does not pin... Ambrose does not eat the pin from Rob Van Dam. There we go, that's what I was trying to say. So, they could continue, and they could have another great match. It wasn't very long, to be totally honest. It didn't go very long, and I'd love to see these two with a lot more time added to the match. And given the fact it was pay-per-view, even though it was basically YouTube, it was the pre-show, and if it would have been on pay-per-view, it might have went a little bit longer, but given the fact it was the pre-show, did not go that long, as these kickoff matches have not gone that long. So, like I said, we start off the actual pay-per-view with The Miz being announced as the official host of the show. He announces himself out. Fandango comes out with the gorgeous Summer Rae, and they tango in front of The Miz. The Miz is like, really? Really? He's like, oh well, welcome to SummerSlam. So, at the end of the kickoff show, the attendants at ringside were setting up the Ring of Fire. They were setting up the mechanism to go around all four corners of the ring, obviously to set up this pseudo-inferno match without having to burn your opponent. So that's what we kick off the show with, the official WWE in-ring debut of Bray Wyatt against the Big Red Machine Kane. So, of course, the Ring of Fire is to keep Eric Rowan and Luke Harper from interfering, and this happened numerous times in this match. So, let's talk about the match, shall we? So, Kane gets caught off the ropes with a crossbody from Wyatt, and Wyatt pounds away, and Kane goes for the goozle. Wyatt punches his way out. Big boot by Kane, clothesline, whipping in the corner clothesline, and he goes for the sidewalk slam, plants Bray Wyatt, the normal Kane moves, and he charges in, caught a back elbow, choke slam. Rowan, in his infinite wisdom, grabs the fire extinguisher for one of the firemen at ringside, and he extinguishes the flames to try to put them out so he can help Bray Wyatt, and obviously him and Luke Harper can get in the ring and take care of Kane, but that is not to be. So they have to think of another idea. So the fire goes up right in their face, and they back up like they're scared little children. So he goozles him, choke slam, goozles him again, choke slam one more time. He cuts the throat like he's going to tombstone him. And this is a very smart move by the Wyatt family. So Rowan and Harper are watching Bray Wyatt get decimated by Kane. And in their infinite wisdom, what they do is they try to throw a Singapore cane in, but it catches fire, and of course, that's the reason that they drop the cane, and that's how the fire extinguisher gets introduced, and of course, they take the fire extinguisher, try to extinguish the flames. It does not work. So, what they do is, they have this black cloth, and they toss it over the flames, they set up the ring steps, and then they use that to get in the ring. So they attack, Kane gets set into Luke Harper's big boot, and he pounds away, discus lariat from Luke Harper, big splash by Eric Rowan, and they help Bray Wyatt up to his feet, and he's been down at this time, so they sacrifice Kane to the Eater of Worlds. Kiss of Death, Sister Abigail, makes the cover, 1, 2, 3. So Bray sits in his rocking chair, and this is awesome visual, by the way. He's rocking back and forth, breathing heavy, of course. He's been through an intense match with Kane, and he's lucky to be still standing after the beating he took. So he's sitting there, and Harper and Rowan offer Kane up like a sacrifice. They put his head on top of the steel steps, and then they grab the other part of the steel steps right in front of Bray Wyatt, and they pick up the steel steps, and then they drop it right on the head of the back of the neck of Kane, basically decapitating him. Obviously, his head did not roll away. That was the visual of a decapitation, basically what it was. So he was basically sacrificing Kane. Since he didn't follow the buzzards, they're going to follow him. So he stands there, and Rowan and Harper are just watching as Kane just lays there motionless. Bray Wyatt gets down and says, "You made your bed, monster, now you'll burn in it." So at this point, he lights the lantern, which is not the LED lantern, it's a legitimate lantern, And it is the only light we see as the arena lights go completely dark, and the only visual you see is the lamp light at the face of the unconscious Kane and Bray Wyatt laughing maniacally. So they hold Kane, and they pick him up, and they drag him to the back. So the fact of Kane joining the Wyatt family is probably a foregone conclusion at this point. There is no way this is not going to happen. And when Kane returns from his sabbatical, i.e. filming the See No Evil, I think that's what the movie's called. Yeah. Sequel, like I said, like we didn't hear enough from Jacob Goodnight back in the last one because he's dead. Spoiler alert. I don't know how they're going to do this, but he's got another movie, so yay, WWE Films. And they dragged him to the back, and of course Bray Wyatt will continue to try to spread truth amongst a world of lies in the WWE, and from what I keep hearing, it sounds like the Wyatt family getting pushed will come at the expense of the Shield, because obviously you can't push two three-man stables in the same company. That's called a stable war, folks. It's a simple booking. I've done it before. So, yeah, there's always that. And this match wasn't the greatest. With this stipulation, it pretty much hindered both men in the ring. It wasn't a straightforward wrestling match. I do like the way that they extinguished the flames with the black cloth and allowed them to get in the ring so they could help Bray Wyatt out before Kane put him down for the 3 count. I like how they sacrificed Kane after the match was over. That was awesome, and I like how they dragged him away. That works for me. But this was not a very great debut for Bray Wyatt. I've been talking him up for months now. And anybody that watched this match that did not watch his exploits in NXT, and only remember back in the day when he was an army tank with a Ferrari engine when he was Husky Harris, or even back when I believe he was Axel Keegan at one point, or when he was even himself when he was Wyndham Rotunda, or Rotundo in this case. It is not the same guy at all. He is a promo machine, and I liken Bray Wyatt and Kane's feud to the old school Undertaker-Mankind feud of back in the day. But the thing was, Bray is great on the mic. He's great in the ring, but the problem is, he really hasn't been able to show that yet, but it's just in the infancy of his debut of the WWE, so I have a good feeling that you'll see a lot more wrestling-wise from the Eater of Worlds in the very near future. So, yeah, usually I do this in a wrap-up at the end of the video, but no, this is late, so we're going to go ahead and do this all together. So we get our next matchup, Mr. Money in the Bank, at least the world title Money in the Bank contract holder, Damien Sandow, taking on his former Rhodes Scholars tag team partner, Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes immediately, I spot, has no mustache. So they finally shave Cody's mustache. And Michael Cole on commentary puts over the facts like, you need to watch the JBL and Cole show on YouTube to see exactly why he doesn't have that mustache. Well, Michael Cole, I know you like to steal from me, and you like to steal the things I say, so, yeah, not going to watch that, and I'm just going to guess that he got his mustache either shaved or he shaved himself. End of story. And if you want to comment, you can tell me how, that's fine. Send me an email, tell me how, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. So, this match was good too. Good back and forth matchup between the former tag team partners. Obviously, when you have two people that either have feuded a long time or used to team together, the matches are really good because you have to pull something out of nowhere that you would not normally see in order to get the win. Or when you finally do get the win, it's off a move that everyone knows, but it takes a lot more to get to it. I like that. It makes good ring psychology. So, snap suplex, 1-2 and a kick out, and Cody locked in his modified surfboard. He gets backed in the corner on 2 separate occasions, and clothesline is blocked, goes for the crossroads, gets countered into a high knee from Sandow, side California leg sweep, goes for the Kobito Aki at the elbow of disdain, and he lands it. 1-2 and a kick out. So, this is awesome. He locks in a modified deathlock, and it gets countered. He kicks him off. He goes to the middle turnbuckle, gets caught, elbow, back elbow, and then a headbutt. Cody puts him on the top, nails a muscle buster, 1-2, and no, Sandow kicks away. So, clothesline, elbow, right hand, whip in, reverse, drop down into the uppercut, and backdrop, lands on the ring apron, and Cody nails him with a springboard drop kick on Damien Sandow, so he locks up the legs. Bob Holly kick, goes for the beautiful disaster. Sandow ducks out of it. Drop toe hold into the side neck breaker, 1-2, and a kick out. So whip in, reverse, sunset flip, and he drops down, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes for the beautiful disaster, hits it again, 1-2. Sandow again kicks out. He charges in, goes shoulder first in the ring post. So he rolls him up with the tights, does Damien Sandow, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes for a slam. He floats over, roll up, 1-2, and reverse into the crossroads, plants him right in the center of the ring, 1-2-3, and Cody Rhodes wins this match. Okay, now, I know what you're going to say. Why does Damien Sandow keep losing when he holds the Money in the Bank briefcase? My response? Exactly. And you ask, Owen, what do you mean by that? I'll explain what I mean by that. It has been WWE's mantra since day one that when you win that briefcase, you don't win matches for a while. That way it's a bigger surprise when you cash in and you become the champion. Makes sense. It's professional wrestling booking 101. Well, again, I should know. I've done it before. So this is what we're doing. Cody had to win tonight, and Sandow doesn't lose any face. And Sandow is now like, okay, fine, you beat me, I'll admit it, but you got lucky, it was a fluke. And Cody's like, okay, fine, if you want to face me again, I'll be more than happy to beat you down once more, but the only way I'll step back in the ring with you is if you put that briefcase on the line. So the matchup that I thought was going to be at SummerSlam with the Money in the Bank briefcase on the line is probably going to end up at Night of Champions next month. You're going to have me mention Night of Champions a whole lot during this video, to be totally honest. Because there's a lot of things that are building towards Night of Champions, even though it's not really mentioned very much. But given the fact that this show is based upon championships, and given the fact that the Money in the Bank winner usually does become the champion, unless you're John Cena, which is hilarious, then think about it from that perspective. So Cody wins this match, and his babyface turn is very successful. And with Sheamus being down with an injury right now, he'll probably become the top babyface on SmackDown, if I had to totally guess. And given what happens later on with someone else, he's definitely the top babyface on SmackDown. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Speaking of SmackDown, and speaking of the World Heavyweight Championship, segue time, that's our next match. So, next contest, World Heavyweight Championship on the line, Alberto Del Rio defending against Christian. So, this match was good as well. These two have good chemistry, and they put on great matches against each other. And, of course, Christian showed a little bit when he pinned, I want to say Damien Sandow, he did that too. When he pinned Del Rio clean as a sheet in the center of the ring. And, of course, it builds it. That Christian may just win and walk away with the World Heavyweight Championship again tonight at SummerSlam, or last night at SummerSlam in this case. But, oh no, it was not to be, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the match. Here goes the middle turnbuckle and hits the missile drop kick, and basically, he goes for the 10 punch in the corner. He goes up top, and Del Rio tries to counter with a step-up enziguri. He ducks it, and flying body press off the top rope, 1-2, and Del Rio kicks out. So headbutt, backdrop, float over, into the kill switch, gets countered. He goes up top, and he's going up most likely for the 180 into the sunset flip. Well, what he does is he goes to the middle rope, and Del Rio has worked him so many times, it's basically completely scouted, and he grabs him, backstabber, catches him off the top rope, and barely Christian ends up kicking out. So he kicks him in the back of the head off the ropes and goes for the crossarm breaker into the roll-up, same way he won on SmackDown, but this time Del Rio kicks out. So step-up enziguri kick, 1-2, and a kick out. He goes for a senton backsplash off the middle ropes. Christian rolls out of the way, and he nails that spinning back elbow off the middle ropes on Del Rio, backs him into the corner with the shoulders, does Del Rio when he gets back up to his feet, and he puts him on the top turnbuckle. He climbs up. Christian goes for a sunset flip into a powerbomb. It gets countered with a big right hand to the nose over and over again. He goes up top, and this time Christian drop kicks Del Rio while he's standing on the top rope, nails the top rope Huracan Rana, and 1-2, and Del Rio kicks out yet again. Christian charges for the spear. Del Rio stops him dead in his tracks with a front drop kick, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the cross arm breaker, gets pushed off, drop toe hold, leaps over the top rope, uppercut, and he goes back in. And when he slides back in, he ducks his head in, and Del Rio takes his head off with a GSK, 1-2, and Christian kicks out. So he drops the knee pad, goes for the GSK again, he gets ducked, sunset flip, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the spear, but he can't capitalize because he had the arm worked on the entire match, and the shoulder's been worked on the entire match, so he cannot make the pinfall and win the World Heavyweight Championship. Goes for the cross arm breaker, it gets broken. Christian tries to fight out of it, and he locks it in even more powerful, and he taps out. So Alberto Del Rio is still the World Heavyweight Champion. He gets on the mic, he said, Mexican people need a hero, someone look up to. That man is me. So, in the back, we have The Miz, and of course The Miz is talking since he is the host, and Maria Menounos, who won a tag team match during SummerSlam Access. It was Maria and Natalya Neidhart taking on Brie Bella and Eva Marie, and Maria got the pin on Eva Marie with a roll-up, and that was the end of that match. So, of course, she's celebrating, and Fandango and the Gorgeous Summer Rae show up again, so they dance one more time, and Miz is like, anything you can do, I can do better. So they dance right in front of Summer Rae and Fandango and leave them speechless. So that's the end of that segment. So, speaking of Total Divas, that's exactly what we're going to get. This is what we call Segway City, folks. Natalya Neidhart with the Funkadactyls, Cameron and Naomi, in their corner, taking on Brie Bella with her sister Nikki and Eva Marie in her corner. So, this match didn't go very long, but you can definitely tell that Brie Bella is dating Daniel Bryan, because obviously Bryan has showed her a thing or two in that ring, because obviously you saw a lot more fire from Brie Bella in this match than you would see normally. So they trade slaps. Natty ducks the one, double legs her, goes for the sharpshooter, Brie gets to the ropes. So, back elbow, Nikki and Eva pull the ring apron, sending Natty to the floor. So Brie tosses her in, leaping stomp, leaping guillotine leg drop, and then hit another leaping guillotine leg drop. Shoulders into the corner, short arm clothesline. Natty catches her with an ace crusher. Clothesline, sharpshooter gets countered this time. Natty gets sent into the buckles, and basically all hell breaks loose on the floor as the Funkadactyls and Eva Marie and Nikki all brawl on the floor. So Natty comes back in, chinlock, reverse, Firewoman's carry, into a sunset flip, 1-2, and a kick out. Running knee by Brie Bella, kick, spine buster, into the sharpshooter. And by a spine buster, of course, I'm talking about the good old-fashioned Alabama Slam, sharpshooter, and Brie tap, tap, tap like Sammy Davis Jr. So Natty wins this match, and needed to win this match, because if she wants to legitimately challenge for the Divas Championship, and I'm pretty sure that's what we're leading towards, folks, then she had to win this match. And I know this match was only set up because of Total Divas, and for that matter, I missed Total Divas last night, so I need to go back and watch that. So hopefully I'll do that very soon. Might do that after this video if I can find it. It might be a little too early in the day, though. Who knows? So, Natty wins this match, and I have a feeling we'll see an semblance of a match between Natty and Brie Bella again, with probably partners involved, maybe the Funkadactyls. Obviously, Nikki can't work given the fact she's injured. Maybe Brie and Eva Marie and someone else. I would say maybe Layla or AJ. It just depends on what direction you want to go. But Natty winning this match was a good thing, a really good thing. So already we go to the Best versus the Beast. Now, on the SummerSlam kickoff show, Paul Heyman in his infinite wisdom decides he wants to come up with a stipulation for this match. And the stipulation would be, it would be a no disqualification match. So both Punk and Lesnar definitely agreed to it, so that's what we got here. So this match was brutal, to say the least. And we'll go midway through the match because I'd love to call all this match, and I'd like to call Cena and Bryan, but of course I couldn't call it all, because I would probably break my wrist writing, and I almost did anyway. This is like a full page of notes, basically. It's like 3/4 page of notes, because obviously I can't do math, as you well know. So, they fight on the floor. Lesnar catches Punk with an overhead release belly-to-belly suplex. Try to say that 5 times fast. Toss him back in, and Punk goes for the kicks to the legs. And then Lesnar cuts him off with a huge clothesline. rams his shoulders into the midsection of Punk and into the ribs as well on 2 separate occasions, locks in a side bear hug. So Punk elbows out of it, he comes off the ropes, gets caught with a huge knee, and Lesnar nails him in the ribs with a knee lift. Bear hug once again, Punk again elbows out of it, and he does the Matt Morgan style elbows from the left and the right. Basically, like he's doing a dance move, like they're dancing, but he's elbowing with the point of the elbow right in the side of the head over and over again. He goes up top for the crown, he gets caught, fall-away slam from Brock Lesnar, and a backbreaker into another fall-away slam, 1-2, and a kick out. Lesnar locks on the chin lock, Punk elbows out of it, and pulls a Mike Tyson and bites the ear of Brock Lesnar. So kicks and forearms, they trade blows, they go up top, and big knee drops Lesnar. So a flying knee drops Lesnar. He charges in with a knee lift in the corner, and he does it again. And then he goes for a third time. It gets countered. Fireman's, and it gets countered into a high kick. And he goes up top. Macho Man Randy Savage flying elbow, 1-2, and Lesnar kicks out. He goes for go to sleep. It gets countered into the F5. F5 gets countered. High kick, drops Brock Lesnar. Goes for the go to sleep. Gets countered this time in the Kimura. And Punk tries to fight out of it. So he counters into a cross arm breaker, and he nails those heel kicks into the face of Brock Lesnar. That also gets countered by Punk into a triangle choke. So he picks him up and he powerbombs him, but the triangle choke is still locked on. So powerbomb gets countered with the MMA style elbows. Powerbomb out of the corner, 1-2, and a kick out. So snap suplex, and then another one, and Lesnar nails 3 Amigos, which is appropriate given the fact that he did face Eddie Guerrero once upon a time for the very championship that John Cena currently holds. Now, or held before this night was over. So he goes to the floor, he gets a chair, Punk goes up top, he dives in with the crown, Lesnar picks the chair up, and it has like a domino effect. Basically, he rams the chair into Lesnar, but he catches the chair as well. So Punk with chair shots to the lower back twice, and he goes back in, and he comes back in one more time. He goes for a shot to the back. He goes for one more shot. Lesnar stops him, takes the chair, and Punk low blows him. Punk goes up top with the chair, and a Cactus Jack style hip buster off the top rope with the steel chair on Brock Lesnar, and he barely kicks out right before the referee administers a 3 count. So a chair to the back again, and again, and again, and again, and Paul Heyman grabs the chair when he's close enough to the ropes to do that, so Punk grabs Heyman, Lesnar nails him from behind, goes for the F5. While he's up there in the fireman's carry, Punk, in his infinite wisdom, showing the veteran he is, he grabs Heyman by the neck, grabs him by the tie, and starts pulling on the tie, thus choking Paul Heyman. So Heyman is saying, let him go, let him go, let him go, which of course would mean that Brock Lesnar would have to drop the F5 and not be able to finish off CM Punk. That was a very smart move right there. So, on top of this, he does drop him and gets caught with the go to sleep out of nowhere. Heyman makes the save right before the 3 count. Obviously, no disqualification rules do apply in this match. So, Heyman powders, because he's smart. Punk gives chase. He goes back into the ring, gets caught, F5, turned around, DDT, 1-2, and a kick out. Locks in an Anaconda Vice on Paul Heyman. So Heyman taps away, and Lesnar comes in with a chair. Punk holds onto the chair, and of course, Heyman's not able to do anything at this point. So he punches Heyman out. Locks on the Anaconda Vice on Heyman yet again. And of course, sorry I read the notes wrong. Basically, when he hit the DDT, he locked the Anaconda Vice on Brock Lesnar. So Heyman came in with a chair to break that up, and then Punk stood on the chair to stop him from using it again. He punched Heyman out, and then he locked the Anaconda Vice on Paul Heyman. Now we're caught up, folks. So Brock with a chair to the lower back on 3 separate occasions. Picks up Punk's unconscious body. F5 on the steel chair, 1, 2, 3. And what a brutal match between these two. And the right man went over in this match. I know what you're thinking. Punk needed to win. Well, that's true. Punk's not really had a great 2013. But he really has, if you really think about it. Punk held the WWE Championship for over 400 days. A feat that, in this day and age, probably won't be repeated for a long time. Now, you have to look at it from the perspective that Brock Lesnar has had an even worse time. He's lost a lot since he's returned to the WWE. And he did beat Triple H at Extreme Rules, but that's another story altogether. Now, he needed to win this match. And given the fact that he's going to go away and he may not come back till WrestleMania 30, and that's a very good possibility, obviously, you have to do something to have him look strong. If he's going to tap out to The Undertaker at WrestleMania, it's got to happen with a Brock Lesnar that looks like he can beat The Undertaker. Now, if Punk beat him, even by the skin of his teeth, it wouldn't have worked out so well. And Punk will be fine. Don't know if he'll transition to a feud with Curtis Axel. I hope not. I mean, I guess it would elevate Axel, but it doesn't really do anything for Punk. So, Punk's kind of, he's still fighting with Heyman, but he got his revenge when he punched Heyman in the mouth, locked him in the Anaconda Vice. So, all's good there. So, Punk can maybe move on in this storyline. We don't have to worry about it anymore. When Lesnar comes back, he'll probably go right after The Undertaker, so we'll be good to go. We'll be good to go for our match and have The Undertaker tap him out with Hell's Gate, which is kind of funny because Punk ended up using the triangle, which is, in essence, Hell's Gate, on Brock Lesnar. So a little foreshadowing for Lesnar's future in 2014. So this match was brutal. I thought we'd see blood in this match, but we didn't. We actually didn't see blood in this match, and that kind of surprised me, to be totally honest, because I thought there was enough heat in the match that you might see blood, even if it was hard way. Given the fact that earlier on in the match, Punk did end up hitting the flying clothesline off the announce table onto Lesnar, bumping his neck again. Yet again, this match should not ever happen with that spot ever again. So, it was a good match overall, very enjoyable, a Match of the Year candidate without question, but not the only Match of the Year candidate on this show. And I'm going to talk about another one in a minute, but I got to get through the semi-main. Yes, I said semi-main here. So, we get our mixed tag team match. Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn taking on Biggie Langston and the Cute and Crazy Divas champion, AJ Lee. So, this match was actually, it was okay for what it was. And, of course, like I said, I mentioned Night of Champions. This is building towards Night of Champions. But, it's not for Dolph and Biggie Langston. I actually think that ship might be over. I think it's building towards the Divas Championship, but I'll talk about that after this match is over. So, belly-to-belly suplex on Dolph Ziggler, big Ultimate Warrior style splash, 1-2, and a kick out. So, abdominal stretch with the elbows in the ribs repeatedly, and he holds on from behind for AJ to slap Dolph right across the face. Dolph with a standing drop kick, tagging to AJ, tagging to Caitlyn, charges in, got caught with a side backbreaker, so over the shoulder, pushed her into the turnbuckle, and spinning back kick, 1-2, and a kick out. So, snapmare into the cravat, running elbow, 1-2, and a kick out. Rolling neck breaker. Really awesome move, but AJ does. And 9 big elbows when Dolph gets tagged in, and a leaping elbow for the 10th on Biggie Langston, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the name dropper, gets missed, over the shoulder, into a regular backbreaker. Like Canadian backbreaker, down into a regular backbreaker. And AJ and Caitlyn brawl on the floor, and basically shoulder into the post. AJ pulls the leg of Dolph to stop his momentum. AJ gets speared out of her boots on the floor, and big-time Vader attack from Biggie Langston. He drops the straps, goes for the big ending. Ziggler wiggles out down the back and hits the zigzag 1-2-3. So, hopefully this is the end of the Dolph Ziggler-Biggie Langston feud, and Dolph can go on to bigger and better things, given the fact that Alberto Del Rio is still the World Heavyweight Champion, and that is a heel. The hashtag face Dolph Ziggler can be able to get another opportunity against Del Rio. Get some more revenge for the fact that Del Rio put him on the shelf. So, at least in storyline perspective, back at Payback. And took the World Heavyweight Championship from him. So Dolph hasn't got his real rematch yet, and this is what's going to lead to it. Now, Biggie Langston will go into different things as well. Now, this is all about Caitlyn and AJ Lee. And with the spear on the floor, we're setting up towards a hardcore match of some sort. Or maybe even you go falls count anywhere. A Night of Champions with Caitlyn winning the Divas Championship from AJ Lee. But I also mentioned that Natalya could go after AJ Lee. So there could actually be a direction in the Divas division for a change here in WWE. And that is a good thing. I'm sure Juliet Danielle will be very happy to hear that. So, we get The Miz, and he's having his final hosting segment. Fandango comes in, and he says his name. It's Fun! And Miz is like, forget this, and punches him out and with a cheap shot, and leaves Fandango laying. So, we thought that, excuse me, it's kind of appropriate this happens. We thought that Miz would be feuding with R-Truth. That's what we thought we'd set this match up. Miz Fandango feuding with R-Truth. Well, the funny thing about that is you have the Miz punch Fandango out, which is going to lead to a match either tonight on Raw or Friday on SmackDown between the two. So it seems like Awesome Truth is feuding with Fandango. And hopefully Fandango comes out on top because he is definitely getting a great reaction yet again. He got a great reaction at the Staples Center on SummerSlam last night, and I'm sure he'll continue to get great reactions. And Summer Rae looked gorgeous as ever. So that's a good thing as well. Main event time. Wow. This is a lot to take in, folks. And I'll do the best I can. This matchup went over 20 minutes, and I'd love to have called the entire thing, and I know I could have, but given that factor, I don't have enough paper. I just ran out of notepad. I do have, a lot of them back here, so thanks to my mom, but the thing about it is, it's 11, almost 11, 10:30-ish when I started writing. I actually started writing specifically at 10:30. So 10:30 all the way to the main is pretty much exactly what I wrote. So let's talk about the WWE Championship on the line. John Cena taking on the MVP of the WWE, Daniel Bryan, with Triple H as special guest referee. First off, before I say anything, Triple H, until the end, it really didn't get involved. And given the fact that he's not an in-ring competitor on the regular anymore, he doesn't really look as, let's go, bulky as he used to. So maybe Triple H is, or Corporate H in this case, would be a little bit less big. We'll go with that, to be PC about it. And that's fine. If he's not an in-ring competitor, why does he need to be? So he is a part of this match, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So, Triple H comes out, he does his water spit, and that's it. That's his end right there. So Daniel Bryan comes out to a giant pop from the entire crowd. John Cena gets booed out of the building, and we start this match. So let's go to the midway through the match. It's weird, I went from Cena's comeback. So, 2 shoulder blocks off the ropes, Protobomb goes for the 5-knuckle shuffle, he goes for the You Can't See Me, and he gets kicked in the face by Daniel Bryan. He gets kicked off, goes for the Protobomb, he nails it this time, 5-knuckle shuffle, and he goes for the Attitude Adjustment. Bryan lands on his feet, just kind of like CM Punk did back at Money in the Bank. In, 2000... My dates are terrible. I think it was 2011. 2010 or 2011. I don't remember what year it was. It was a Match of the Year candidate, Punk and John Cena. And also that match they had on Raw, that one-off match they had on Raw. So, we go to that, and charge in. Bryan gets the boot up, and he goes up top, missile dropkick, 1-2, and a kick out. 3 big kicks to the lower back, and also to the point of the elbow. So, shoulder stunner, working on the injured arm of John Cena. Kick to the elbow, and then to the back, and he gets caught with a drop toe hold. And he grabs the foot of Daniel Bryan, and Bryan mule kicks him on 3 different times, turns it into an STF on John Cena. So, Cena breaks the hold because he's Super Cena and he's super powerful, and he nails him with the Regalplex for a 2 count, and then a German suplex, 1-2, and a kick out. So, basically, Cena breaks the grip on the 3rd German attempt, and fireman's carry, counter, goes for the S-lock. Cena rolls out of it into a guillotine choke from Daniel Bryan. So, Cena gets up to his feet, he backs Bryan into the turnbuckle on 2 separate occasions, and he ends up either, depending on how you want to say it, basically he Northern Lights him into the corner, that makes Cena sound amazing, or he backdrops him into the corner. That depends on how you think you saw the move. It probably could have been the first one, I'm guessing it was the first one, but it looked a little bit more like the second. So, Bryan gets ahead of steam, charges in, catches the AA, 1-2, and no. Daniel Bryan kicks out. So he goes up top, gets caught with a forearm, Bryan gets shoved off. So he goes up, diving forearm on John Cena, again, Bryan gets shoved off. He charges in, nails Cena with a drop kick, he climbs up, goes for a superplex, he nails it, he hangs in the corner, he flips back up, goes up top, swan dive headbutt, 1-2, and Cena barely kicks out. So he rolls to the floor to try to regroup and break the momentum of Daniel Bryan, which is exactly what happens. So he goes for a tope, Cena stops it with an elbow. He goes up top. He nails a leg drop right to the back of the neck. Rolls Bryan over. 1-2 and a kick out. Picks Bryan up. Puts him on the top turnbuckle. Looks like he's going to try to finish him off with the AA off the top rope. So Bryan rains down the elbows on Cena's neck and head. And he gets countered. Goes for a Hurricane Rana. And catches him kind of like AJ does with the Styles Clash. And he basically just just drops Bryan right on his head. And after that, which looked devastating by the way, locks in the STF. So of course, this is Daniel Bryan. He's a submission specialist, so he obviously knows the counter of this move. And that's what he does. He rolls Cena onto his back, but Cena still got the hold locked on. So he gets countered into the yes lock. Cena makes it to the ropes. So he nails the big drop kick. And then he hits it in the corner one more time. And he charges him for the third when Cena spins him like a top with a huge exploding clothesline out of the corner. So they trade blows, and they both have the idea to go off the ropes at the same time, and they collide with a double crossbody. So we have a double down right here. So they both get up to their feet. Cena slaps Bryan across the face. So Bryan thinks about it, slaps Cena as hard as he possibly can. So they trade slaps, back and forth, whip in, backflip, and he gets countered, going for the fireman's carry, lift up into a DDT with the counter. He goes up top, goes for the flying body press. Cena catches him in midair, picks him up for the AA. It gets reversed into the small package, the finish everyone else was thinking was going to happen, and goes for the buzzsaw. He ducks it. He doesn't duck the second one, and he catches him off the ropes with a huge charging knee strike and pins John Cena clean in the center of the ring. Daniel Bryan is your new WWE champion. And he shakes hands with John Cena, and they celebrate, and they start the confetti, and there's pyro, and everything's going amazingly, and Triple H shakes his hand, and you knew right there something was up. Because, why would Triple H just not bomb out like John Cena did? John Cena bombed out and let Daniel Bryan celebrate with the WWE Championship. Well, Triple H stayed in the ring, and we had confetti and streamers, everything was amazing, fireworks, pyro, it was awesome. Then voices hit. Randy Orton comes out with the Money in the Bank briefcase to dun Bryan's party. So he raises it up in the air, and then he just turns his back and he goes to leave. So it looks like, for a second, that we are not getting a cash-in tonight. That they're just going to save it for Raw or somewhere down the road. Nope. They just pulled the wool over our eyes momentarily. So he walks away, and you got to notice this point. Triple H is positioning himself behind Daniel Bryan. And you knew right there something was up. I knew right there something was up. So I said to absolutely no one, oh no, this is not going to be good. And he turns him around. He pedigrees Daniel Bryan. Orton slides in the ring, gives Triple H the briefcase. He calls for the bell, signifying the cash-in. Orton just rolls him over, pins him 1, 2, 3. So Randy Orton is now the new WWE champion. And the heel turn that Orton has been whining about for about 3 years now is finally complete. So everyone can move on now. Randy Orton is now a heel. Yay. So what does this mean? I know a lot of people on the internet. I was reading some tweets. I read some posts on Facebook. Daniel Bryan got screwed. Yes, Daniel Bryan did get screwed. Why? Because this is wrestling, this is a storyline, and it's a lot more money to be made with a babyface chasing a heel champion. It makes complete sense. It's old school booking. You have the babyface chase the heel, and at the final match, the heel finally loses, and the babyface is champion, and then goes on to the next challenger. That's what you do. That's professional wrestling booking 101. Again, I should know. I've done it before. Now, the thing is, if you think about it from this perspective, now, I didn't talk about it in the moves that I called in the show, but in the middle of the John Cena-Daniel Bryan match, John Cena Batista bombs Daniel Bryan. And this is kind of funny and kind of interesting because this is setting up for one of two things. And I said this on Twitter too. This is setting up for something that, I'll give it up to Coleman for calling this. This is going to set up to the rebirth of Evolution, like an Evolution 2.0, with Randy Orton, Triple H, and the returning Dave Batista. Like I said on Twitter, like, where is Dave Batista for tonight's Raw? Maybe he'll show up, who knows. And we've been setting this up, and we have talking about Batista, and of course, you build this up. You have the heel turn from Triple H that people were thinking was going to happen, and we heard the rumors on the internet that Vince was going to be face and Triple H was going to be heel. Now, hopefully we'll get questions to be answered tonight on Raw so we can find out exactly how we're going to talk about this, given the fact that Vince McMahon completely hates Daniel Bryan, and now he's going to have to work with him, so there's always that. We're building towards two things. Like I said, we're building towards Evolution, or maybe Triple H and Randy Orton by themselves, and the third member could be anybody at this point. Here's another thing I'm thinking. I think you're building towards a new corporation. But not a corporation ran by Vince McMahon. A corporation ran by Triple H and Stephanie. That's what I think is going to happen. I think it's Triple H and Stephanie, and you could even throw Brad Maddox in there, unless he's just an innocent bystander, which I'm sure he's not. If you throw that in there, Brad took a pedigree for the team. That's the reason why he took the pedigree, and that's the only reason. So, that's what you do. You're setting up a new corporation with Triple H and Randy Orton, and who knows whom else. Now, obviously, we're looking like we're going to build towards the John Cena heel turn, and they still could do it. They definitely could. But I did say Triple H would be against Vince McMahon, and we talked about this, and I would say that Vince would be joined by John Cena. Well, that could still happen, but Vince could be a babyface joined by a babyface John Cena. Yes, we're still not getting a John Cena heel turn. And at this point, there's really not a direction to go with it. You just turned Randy Orton heel, you just turned Triple H heel, so you can't really do anything there. So now the only thing you can do, and oh my god, this is armchair booking at its finest, folks. This is what you do. It never happened in a million years, but how about this? How about this for booking? Survivor Series. Or the Royal Rumble. You don't do this at, like, a throwaway pay-per-view 1 month. Oh, no. You do this at Survivor Series or the Rumble. I would say probably Survivor Series because you have to have something else for the Rumble. What about Triple H and Randy Orton team up against Daniel Bryan and a mystery partner? And the mystery partner is Shawn Michaels. So, Triple H and Orton against Daniel Bryan and the man who helped train him, Shawn Michaels. Now what you're saying, oh, and why would Shawn Michaels get back in the ring for one more match? Well, Shawn doesn't really much care about money any longer. He just wants to shoot guns and have a good time. So he's a family man now, so he's completely different from the Heartbreak Kid of old. There's definitely money to be made with this. And there's a story to be told with this. And if you know anybody that would know Triple H and already has a complete connection to Daniel Bryan, it's Shawn Michaels. And if you're going to do the match with Triple H and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania that everyone is talking about doing, then this is how you build it up, folks. You do Daniel Bryan and a mystery partner against Evolution, or the corporation, depending on how you want to call it, Triple H and Randy Orton, and you have the mystery partner be Shawn Michaels. That's what you do. I mean, you could have the mystery partner be Sean Waltman. That could work. That'd be awesome. Or you could have the mystery partner be Kevin Nash. That could also work. Either way, it's got to be someone who knows Triple H. And that's what I think you're going to do. I think that's a great idea. I think Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels against each other would be the match I really want to see. But probably not going to happen. I think Bryan and Michaels against Orton and Triple H is the right way to do it and the right direction to go. And I think that's exactly what's going to end up happening. So, there's always that. That's Armchair Booking 101, folks, but that's how I see things. So, no crying for Daniel Bryan. He is a former WWE champion now, so he's held the top title in the company. He's held both of those championships. And he'll be fine. He'll be feuding with Randy Orton. As a matter of fact, rumors talked about the Night of Champions with Randy Orton taking on Daniel Bryan. It was already let out that that was going to be the match anyway. We just didn't know who was going to be the champion. And like I said, I thought the cash-in would come tonight on Raw, but no, they gave it away the night of the pay-per-view, not letting the fans go home happy. As a matter of fact, I read a report on Twitter just a little bit before I started taping that the fans were chanting no and BS, and Bryan was like, doing what my shirt said, like, no, no, no. Daniel Bryan's fine, folks. I mean, he's still the top face in the company. Cena's going to go away for a little bit, and he's going to rehab his elbow, which of course has like a baseball in it. I mean, it doesn't, but it looks like it does. So he's got some serious issues with his elbow. That's why they took him off the house shows over the weekend. And they basically said that they did that so he could rest up for SummerSlam. He had a very strenuous match against Daniel Bryan last night, and he's going to need some much-needed time off. And I'm sure the fans of the internet will be very happy to say that. But it was funny because Cena during the match, he, like I said, I'm backpedaling again. Cena during the match basically says, he comes out, everybody boos him, they're chanting, "You can't wrestle, you still suck," all this stuff. So Cena just smirks and wrestles Daniel Bryan. And I think in this match, he shut up a lot of the haters, to be totally honest. Now, I know from complete certainty that you can't shut up all the haters. That's for sure. But I think that Cena did make a believer out of a lot of people that were not Cena fans. I mean, like I said, I like John Cena. I do. And I've become a bigger fan of John Cena. Obviously, I'm a Daniel Bryan guy. I was a Bryan Danielson guy, so I'm obviously a Daniel Bryan guy. But the thing about it is Cena really showed something tonight, and this match was awesome. And Cena's had tremendous matches this year with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. Given the fact, depending on who they are, and The Rock. So there have been some really awesome matches, and John Cena has been really good in the matches. So there's always that. So great show, very enjoyable show, and interesting to see what's going to happen tonight on Raw. So we have a lot of things to look forward to. Raw tonight will hopefully answer some of the unanswered questions left over from last night's pay-per-view, and throw out some more to get us into Night of Champions and through the rest of the year. So this is the start of the big Helmsley era, the big McMahon versus Helmsley storyline that's going to lead us into WrestleMania next year. So this is the start of it. The Age of Orton has begun, and Daniel Bryan, like I said, he will be WWE champion again. Don't worry, and the next time, he's going to keep it for quite a while, folks. Trust me, he's going to be a long-reigning WWE champion next time around, so there's always that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this recap. I tried to do the best I possibly can. And once again, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them. Do leave a comment, do subscribe, share them on your social media. You can tweet me if you want to ask me a question. Leave me a comment that you don't want to leave a little comment on the YouTube channel. You can be more than welcome to tweet me. It's at Sir Owen Disney. Follow me. Would be very appreciative if you would. And on top of that, you can also send me an email if you want to get me out information that way, SirOwenDisney@gmail.com, or if you want to friend me, you can friend me on Facebook. It's Owen Disney. So like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and you can buy me a bunch of Disney World and Universal gift cards if you want to. And take care. Spike. No, I'm not Zack Ryder. But I do. I'm not a doctor, but I did play one on TV until they killed my character off. Now, I thought that was a really random way to end this video, so we'll talk Raw later tonight, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.